everyone, my name is Aisha and this is SLP News. Today we'll be talking about autism spectrum disorder, also known as ASD, and how different cultural perspectives have their own take on it, as well as looking into some groups of races and different cultural linguistic backgrounds and how they may be under and overrepresented. So, to give a quick background of ASD, it is a unique condition that involves deficits in communication and behaviors. The autism spectrum disorder has a broad range, with some requiring very little intervention while others needing full-time care. There can also be different ways that these individuals communicate. For example, one person may be nonverbal and use an alternative communication device such as an iPad or picture board to communicate. Others may just have difficulties in certain social scenarios and have specific difficulties in turn-taking, maintaining eye contact, maintaining conversation, and so on. Since autism falls on a spectrum, there are various symptoms that one person can have, but there are some prevailing main symptoms that really identify ASD. These can be seen as repetitive behaviors, restricted interests, and just overall communication and social difficulties. Back in the day, not too long ago actually, autism spectrum disorder were characterized into different groups such as Asperger's syndrome, Rett syndrome, childhood pervasive disorder, and childhood disintegrative disorder. But now, since the DSM-5 in 2013, they have been all integrated under the autism spectrum disorder. So, like I mentioned earlier, today we'll be taking a deep dive into different cultural groups and races and seeing how they view and understand autism, as well as looking into certain races and populations that may be under and overrepresented by research and statistics and prevalence rates. So, I'll be handing this off to Jackie, and she'll be asking the general population some true or false questions about the topic, and will be informing us about what research says today. To you, Jackie.
Thanks, Aisha. So I'm here out in public and I'll be asking some people questions to see what the general population thinks about autism in different populations, as well as unique cultural perspectives. So here we have our next participant. True or false? Autism only affects the child and not the family.
False.
Yes, so false. Autism not only affects the child, but the child's caregivers as well. It can involve lifestyle changes that involve the whole family and not just the child.
Hi, so now I'm with my second participant and I have a different question for her. So true or false, students who are Black or Asian are 3 times more likely to get diagnosed with autism than students who are American, Indian, Alaskan, or Hispanic?
False.
True, so it's false because students who are Black and Asian are actually twice as likely, not 3 times as likely.
Hi, so now I have another participant. I'm going to ask you a true and false question. So true or false, in 2018, 1 in 54 children in the U.S. were diagnosed with autism.
True.
Yes, so in fact that is true. In 2018, 1 in 54 children, American children, have been diagnosed with autism.
Do you think African American families whose religion include their family paradigms may see autism negatively?
Yes.
False. They actually see disabilities positively because they see that all children are important.
So, true or false, it's been reported that Latinos have a lower probability of receiving services than African American children with disabilities. So it's actually true. So the annual report of Congress, according to the 22nd and 23rd annual report, has shown that Hispanic children with autism are served under this label about half compared to kids with African American origins. So research does not explain a clear reason, but suggests that Hispanic populations are not being served in ways that other children are being served.
True or false, immigrants from current generations from Puerto Rico and Mexico believe that developmental disabilities is a punishment for the sins of the parents.
True.
Actually false, because it's an older generations that believe this, not the current generation. So since the current generation is learning more about biological and environmental factors, people aren't as quick to blame having an autistic kid on the sins of parents.
True or false, white individuals were identified with autism at a higher rate than other ethnicities.
I'm going to say true.
Yes, in fact, it is true. So based on the statistics we have right now, white individuals have a higher diagnosis rate of having autism compared to other races. So reasons as to why are not super clear, but research says it could have to do with the over or underrepresentation of cultural groups or the access of knowledge and resources about autism.
Do you think it's true or false that some young Latina mothers believe that a child with autism is a blessing from God because these mothers feel like they're given each challenge to become a better person?
True.
Yeah!
True or false, girls are more likely to be diagnosed with autism than boys. So you're correct. False. So boys are actually 4 times more likely to get autism than girls. However, research is now starting to show that it may be because autism in girls are underdiagnosed.
So true or false, Native Hawaiians value each member of the community regardless of whether a child has autism?
True.
Yes!
True or false, the Hispanic population are typically underidentified in autism, especially with English not as their first language. So it is true. Research hypothesizes that this can be due to the fact that not having English as a first language can affect their abilities to get diagnoses due to possible language barriers.
I have my next participant, and she's going to answer this true or false question. So, do you think most surveys indicate a higher proportion of kids with autism are from immigrant families compared to people with non-immigrant population?
False.
So it's actually true. So many minority families that complete these surveys are from immigrant families, so it causes a disproportionate statistic.
Wow, thanks, Jackie. As SLPs, we have to be aware that different cultural groups will process their child's diagnosis differently. Some families may view the diagnosis negatively, while other cultures may view the diagnosis positively, and their opinions may be tied back to their culture. However, we must keep in mind that though certain cultural groups have their views, SLPs work directly with the family and must be open and understanding to the family's specific views too. As emerging speech-language pathologists, it is our duty to present the facts of the diagnosis and to provide supplementary counseling and information to the families. Along with providing the proper diagnosis, the SLP's job is to work with the families to create shared goals that will provide a proper intervention plan that will meet the family's communication goals for the child. It is also important to remind yourselves that each child has their own individual diagnosis and that no autism diagnosis is the same. So let's recap. Today we discussed what autism spectrum disorder is, the characteristics of autism that a parent may observe in their child, the statistics of autism, and how different cultures view the diagnosis. And that's it, folks. We'll see you next time on SLP News. Have a great day.